Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm laughing a little bit because tonight I'm going to talk about after my run, you don't get to give up. And what's funny is literally right before I jumped on here live, I almost I almost gave up on doing this talk tonight. I've been traveling, I have all these excuses, blah, blah, blah. And I was making notes, well, I'll just do this talk tomorrow. And right at that moment, I got a message from someone really awesome, Gwen, who just jumped on, who wrote me, who's been listening to our podcast since day one and just followed me along my journey. I've seen how far she's come in her life and was talking about congratulations to you, Gwen, on, first of all, following your dream of becoming an author, starting your own podcast, and now getting your first paid speaking event. And I remember when you were going through some really rough times, I told you, you don't get to give up. And I remember that made you upset because you had all these good excuses or reasons and why you should kind of throw in the towel. And I'm like, you don't get to give up. It's not about you. Because to every person that you're going to be helping, to every life that you're going to be changing, it's bigger than you. And if you give up, you're not giving up on you. You're giving up on every person that you've been chosen to help change their lives. And that's what I wanted to jump on here and talk about real quickly tonight. Because there's so many people I've been connected to that are doing their dreams, that are taking it to the next level, and a lot of people that are also getting paralyzed, and they'll write me something similar to that. They'll say, Mark, I want to start speaking. I want to do this. I want to do that. But I don't know. I'm not ready yet. I don't have what it takes to do it yet. And I'm like, yes, you do. Just start doing it. Don't be afraid to be terrible, and you'll learn along the way. And I want to share with you guys a quick story. There was a guy in high school who was labeled at the time, they called it mentally retarded. Nowadays, they call it developmentally disabled. And his whole life, that's what he thought he was. And it took him, at one point, he met a teacher in the parking lot at school and introduced himself. And the teacher said, you know what, I believe you're going to do big things when you grow up. And he said, oh, no, not me, sir. He said, I'm mentally retarded. And the teacher said, what did you just call yourself? And he said, well, they labeled me mentally retarded. I'm not going to be able to do anything when I grow up. And the teacher said, look, you don't ever say that about yourself again. Don't ever call yourself that again. Don't ever let anyone label you that again. And he said, you have a special light in you. You are going to grow up. You're going to change the world. And you guessed it, Gwen. That man was Les Brown, who became probably one of the top 5 motivational, inspirational speakers around the world. But before that, his journey wasn't an easy one. He was homeless for a while, and he had this insane dream that he was going to be a motivational speaker and teach others to live their dreams. And one of his first paid speaking events, he was getting ready to go speak to a business, and at the same time, he was still homeless, and also he had his finances were in a terrible position, and he's getting ready to wake up the next day and go into this company and speak to all these businessmen about how they need to live their dreams. Imagine what he was going through that night. There you are again, wrestling with that you versus you, that one part of him. Who are you to think you can do this, Les Brown? You were labeled mentally retarded. You're broke right now. You're homeless. And you're going to go tell these guys they can live their dreams? And then another part of them is that seed that was planted in them from that other guy that said, you don't get to give up. Because there's another part of you that, yes, your dream hasn't manifested yet. You haven't become that person you see yourself becoming, but you are awesome. You are that person, and you can do this. And he went the next day, he spoke, he did an awesome job, and then it gets even better. Les Brown went to the next level and got his first huge paid speaking gig. And if you watch him on YouTube, he tells the story. It's great. It's actually hilarious. And he said it was, I think, in Atlanta, the whole amphitheater, the whole stadium was filled up with people, like 50,000 plus people cheering, getting ready for him to come out. I mean, the guy that was just homeless years earlier that was speaking to people about living their dreams is getting ready to go to speak out at an amphitheater to a whole stadium of 50,000 plus people. And he said he got ready to go out there. He could hear the whole crowd roaring and cheering his name. And there was a porta potty there, and he ran into the porta potty and locked himself in. And he said this is also the importance of having a good mentor in your life, not just a yes man or lady, but someone that will jump on and kick your butt when you need it. And he was locked in the porta potty. He was hiding in there as the whole crowd was roaring for him to come out and speak. And his mentor came and knocked on the door, and he's like, "Les, what are you doing? They're calling you. You're supposed to come on." And he was throwing up in the toilet, and he's like, "I'm not going to do it." He's like, "I can't go out there. I can't go talk in front of 50,000 people." And the mentor said, "Les." And Les Brown's like, "What?" He's like, "Leave me alone. I'm not going." And he's like, "This isn't about you. You don't get to give up. This has nothing to do with you. This is about the 50,000 people out there that paid money to come watch you speak. Because they are going through hard times. They're struggling. They've been the underdog. They've been homeless. They're going through hard times, and they've seen your story, and they need you to give them hope that you made it, and so can they. So this isn't about you. You do not get to give up." So he realized it wasn't about him, and he went out there, and if you watch it on YouTube, he absolutely crushed it. It's one of the most powerful speeches he ever delivered, and that really took him to the next level and beyond. But had he given up, had he let his fear stop him, and I love hearing that story because you watch him speak, you would think someone like that doesn't go through fear, but he was literally locked in the porta potty throwing up. And he pushed himself forward to do his dream. So I love sharing that. Whatever it is you're going for, just remember you don't get to give up because your dream is bigger than you. Like in my marriage, when I went through some hard times, I know my wife and I were separated for a while, and when it got really bad, I remember thinking, especially when we were talking about trying again, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to try again. Like, I don't want to go through what I had been through. And I remember my kids, my little girl, my daughters going back and forth asking me, "Daddy, why aren't you coming home with me?" This was probably like 8 years ago. And I realized I don't get to give up. Like this isn't just about me. This is about my kids. This is about my family. This is about my legacy. So if it takes me risking being hurt again or going through some trials and tribulations to get to the other side and have a chance to make it, then I'm going to go all in. And thank God I did, because now we're about to celebrate our 10-year wedding anniversary. And so I just want to tell everyone listening tonight, have an awesome night. Lisa, Gwen, Sheila, Sean, Stevens, my good man, you jumped on. How awesome. Congratulations on your new baby little girl, my man. Can't wait to catch up with you. And I will have everyone have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Take it easy. Don't give up.